Ionic nomenclature. The word nomenclature means name. So we're talking about naming ionic compounds. Naming binary ionic compounds, and binary, the prefix bi means two. So these are ionic compounds that contain two elements. Naming binary ionic compounds is relatively straightforward. First, you have to remember that ionic compounds consist of a blank and a blank. We have learned that ionic compounds are made up of a metal and a nonmetal. And I just want to skip down to the periodic table, and I want you to remember that everything colored in black is a metal, and everything highlighted in this brown orange is a nonmetal. So the name of the metal goes first, and this is the name you will find on the periodic table. So for example, if you find sodium, which is Na, on the periodic table, you will see that it says sodium, and that's how you name it. Even if it's an ion, even if it's an ionic compound, you would call Na sodium. Transition metals are weird. So transition metals are those located right in this box, and everything with the yellow highlight and down here, these can be weird. These will be a little different. So we're really right now just talking about these red elements and the orange elements. And they'll be covered next week. The name of the nonmetal goes second. However, you must use the root of the name of the element off of the periodic table and add ide, I-D-E, at the end. So for example, Cl is chlorine on the periodic table, chlorine, but we change the ending, we take off the ending and add ide, so it becomes chloride. So NaCl, which is an ionic compound, also known as table salt, is called sodium chloride. So here we have our non-metal root names, and we're really just adding an ide to the end. So it would be hydride, carbide, nitride, I-D-E, oxide, phosphide, sulfide, fluoride, chloride, bromide, and iodide. So you can add the IDE to the end of each of those. And just remember that we're changing the last syllable. It's hydride, not hydrogen, hydride. So let's practice. We need to write the name of the ionic compound formed between Mg and F. So our first job is to figure out what is the metal, and then we'll figure out what's the nonmetal. So our metal, if we look on the periodic table, magnesium is right about here. So magnesium is a metal. So we're going to start with Mg, and that is magnesium. Fluorine is a nonmetal that's located right about here. Fluorine, since it's a nonmetal, we need to change the ending. So we'll start with our fluor, and then instead of fluorine, it's fluoride. So this compound, Mg and F, when they bond together, becomes magnesium fluoride. Go ahead and try the other two on your own, and then have your teacher check them.